I enter the abbey 9 months later, and as a postulant, so that's what you're called when you enter, and you wear a black suit, you look like a Mormon, and for your first 4 months until you get the habit and a new name, your new religious name. So my new religious name is Giovanni, Frater Giovanni.
What was your...
William, Billy.
Okay.
Yeah. And Giovanni is Italian for John the beloved apostle. So the first priest son of Our Lady after our Lord, or first priest son of Our Lady, after Jesus, right? And when I got there, we were able to call home for like once a month for like 45 minutes. And it's a very strict community, so no cell phone, no email, no internet for your first couple years. It's a total detox from the world, which was painful for me. It was very painful. Going from running a media business to like complete cold turkey stop, it was pretty hard. But
yeah, because you're always connected.
Always connected, always working, always watching everything that's happening in the world, and then
making dozens of calls, all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
From 100 to 0, basically overnight. And I would call my family each month, and I would say the same thing every time. I would ask them, "Are you praying the rosary?" Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, no. It's like, what's that have to do with anything? I'd be like, that has everything to do with everything. Mm-hmm. Call back the next month. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. I love you. All this good stuff.
Catch up and everything, but then...
Are you praying the rosary? No. Like the next month. Are you praying the rosary? No. So they started to catch on that this was going to be my only question. And I'm a one-trick pony, really. And that went on for about 6 months. And then I told my mom at one point, this was right before Lent. This was the last call because we're not able to call during Lent. The last call before Easter. Mm-hmm. And I said, Mom, I guess this was like a little Our Lady's prophecy of sorts. I was like, Mom, everything's going to get really, really bad if you don't start praying the rosary. Mm. So there's nothing else I can say but that, Mom. And sure enough, I talked to her on Easter Sunday, some 40, 50 days later. I was like, hey, Mom, happy Easter and all this stuff. And then she's just like crying tears of joy and stuff. And I'm like, what happened? And she goes, well, you were right. Everything got really, really bad.
Oh, wow.
With my family and all sorts of other stuff. And she's like, kind of hitting a rock. She hit a rock bottom. My whole family did. And then they started to pray the rosary. And right after that, everything started to change. And everything started to turn around and get better. And there was peace, and there were healed relationships, and there was peace.
During this time that you were talking before Lent, were they ever trying to talk you out, trying to talk you to come back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there was still that struggle there.
Yeah. I mean, granted, by the time I was already there, they realized there's no sense in trying to do that. But they would always ask the question, are you happy there? Are you sure you should be there? And all this stuff. And then I eventually told them, I'm like, please stop asking me that question. Like, that does not help,
One common phrase that we've heard among, the religious sister priests and deacons that we've had was, you're abandoning the family. Did that one come up?
That came up, but in even stronger terms, yes.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, so they start praying the rosary every day. Everything starts changing. Then they start going to Mass. And then they come out to visit me at the Abbey. And my dad makes his first confession since he became Catholic 25 years ago.
Wow.
My mom makes her first confession in 10 or 15 years, and she really did not like the sacrament, which I understand. It's a hard sacrament.
Yeah.
It's very hard. There's nothing easy about it. But the hardest part is showing up. It really is. The hardest part is showing up. She makes her first confession in many years. And now my family goes every single time they come and visit me. And they've been praying the rosary, going to Mass. My mom's going to daily Mass. My dad's praying the rosary, before COVID when he would drive to work and on his way back and all this stuff. And now all they want for me is for me to be a Norbertine priest.
Really?
They are now my biggest advocates and my biggest supporters, my biggest fans in what I'm doing.
Did that surprise you?
No, because I knew that would happen if they started praying the rosary.
Wow.
Because I knew that my joy would be theirs and that we would share this joy. And I thought one day, I was like, when I entered, I'm like, I hope that one day they won't be angry about this. And then it'd be really, really great if they even were like okay with it or at peace with it. And I thought, but the best possible scenario would be if they share my joy in this. And now my family tells me how proud they are of where I am and what I'm doing, and how grateful they are that I didn't listen to them and that I just kept going despite putting me through the ringer. And that my mom was with Gabe and I when we went to Mexico to visit Our Lady of Guadalupe just the other day. And she was telling me about how just all day she was thanking Our Lady for choosing me. And she was just praying to Our Lady about how unworthy she felt to have a priest for her son.
Wow. So. Do you think it would have been a lot more difficult for them if you didn't have an older brother? If you didn't have someone else to possibly give grandchildren to carry on the family name?
Well, the only thing is I can't think of it being more difficult under any circumstance.
It's like, how much worse can it get?
Yeah. So hypothetically, yeah, maybe, but not really. It was, we maxed out on the difficulty scale.